5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's the 10 common commandments. What? Yeah, you killed the show. Please can't tell me nothing about these jokes.
We cannot start this show right now without introducing this jacket.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
hello.
A jacket needs a
Andre
segment
Paradise.
of his own.
What? There's like, I have to say, baked potato.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's the 10 common
These
commandments.
jokes don't write themselves, and it ain't free.
Please can't tell me nothing about these jokes.
Hey guys, I'm Lana Turner, and welcome to We're Talkin Comedy, the only comedy debate show where all things are debated through comedy. And it is my pleasure to have two amazing comedians. And I cannot start this show right now without introducing this jacket.
Yes.
I mean, hello.
A jacket needs a
Andre
segment
Paradise.
of his own.
What? There's like, I have to say, baked potato.
Right.
But I love it so much. I mean, it's amazing.
He's dead ass.
It's amazing. We just can't start the show though without addressing
That jacket don't have a size. It got a year on it.
I have to say, after the show, can I take a picture in your jacket? Can
Andre is not playing.
Let me tell you something. This is 24 karat gold for real. You know what I'm saying?
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars' brother. You don't even know it's cracking.
Just because of theater of the mind, I need to describe
That
it.
is
If you're
a
not
black
able to,
Oscar. Bosker.
yeah, it's
You won't even turn green. You take the jacket off. This is the real deal.
Andre.
green. Are you going to patina sitting next to me? It's gold
Right.
with black accents, but it is gold, not just gold. It is
I like it.
gold delicious.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Andre, what's the story? Where did you get that?
This is a very expensive jacket. I got it at YMCA, spelled backwards, Macy's. So I scooped it up, and it fit me just right.
It does fit you perfectly.
It does.
It was made for you and only for you.
That's right.
And whoever was at Macy's
Hilarious.
was like, "Are you serious?"
Yes.
Yes.
You know what's so funny?
When he walked out, he was like, we sold one.
It's so funny. It was like about 6 of them there. These are very expensive,
Right.
and like they'd never been touched. When I buy one, she said, "You gonna get this one?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "This one." She looked at the rack of the rest of them. She said, "Can you take those too?"
Today we're offering a Macy's special. You buy one, you get the other 5 free.
And the jacket goes to...
Like she was getting commission. Like, "Here, buy that one too." Like, hold on.
Like we couldn't give these. Goodwill came, and I love
like a
it
third
though.
trophy.
I love it, and it's amazing. Have you worn it on stage yet? Because that's a theater.
No. You guys are the first one to pop the cherry on this jacket.
Go ahead.
And when I get on the next theater show, this is what I'm coming.
It's going
up to.
down. I
It's
like
going
it.
down.
Well, and sitting to my left is Eric on, and you know Eric.
I toned it down a little bit, too.
Well, you're looking quite dapper as well.
Thank you,
But
yes.
you're definitely two different energies.
Definitely.
Either
that jacket's own
side of
atmosphere.
me.
That's atmosphere right
But
there.
I'm loving both of it.
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yes.
we're working it beautifully.
And you look lovely.
Most
too.
definitely.
Well, thank you. I don't have my gold jacket on today, but I will have to bring it next time.
Okay, okay.
And we'll
Anytime
work
skin
it.
is showing on the ladies is always hot.
Yeah, we don't need the gold. Well, I am so happy to be here today because we have a great show planned for you guys today. It's going to be all about comedy. We're talking it, and we're going to bring it to you right now. I've got a hot topic right here in the microwave. So this is something that hits home for comedians like nothing else, and it is joke stealing. Oh my gosh, it's just such a tough thing across the board, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna start with you, Andre. How do you deal? What do you have to? What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, the people who's out there listening across the land, a lot of you guys don't understand that comedians, the bigger you get, the more pressure is on you. And so a good comedian, in my opinion, will hire other comedians for their writers. Some comics that are still good enough as they get with age over the years, they're still able to come up with another hour all the time. But there's some who just don't have it, and I think it's just in their DNA to go and steal other people's hard-working material. And a lot of people don't know you're paying money to go see a special some type of comedian that's special in your heart, but you have no idea that you're actually paying to see Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Right.
This guy is saying 5 people's material, and you have no clue. And then when you hear someone else who actually wrote the real material, you can like, wait a minute, that guy stole that from him, but you don't know if it's the other way around. Andrew Dice Clay is a perfect example of joke stealing, who has made a $1 million career off of it. Not now, give Dice credit, because now Dice is still one of my favorite comics. All right,
right.
I got the jacket right on to prove it. Okay? This is a Dice look.
That's definitely a Dice
but
look.
There is some $1 million material in his act. And I say $1 million material because he made millions off of this certain material that he stole. Point blank, period. Moms Mabley. I'm sure a lot of people out there listening right now never heard of this person. Rest her soul, but she's one of the original comedians of comedy, and she's an African American comedian. And her joke of nursery rhymes, one of the famous ones, is Hickory Dickory Dock. Did Dice Clay strip down to the bone and tells it every day like he wrote it, like it was yesterday.
Yep.
So that's a prime example of joke stealing. Now I had my joke stolen. All right. And it said on TV right after I said it.
Right. It's cold-blooded.
I said it on TV. They came. Matter of fact, one of my credits is I've been on Comic View. And I've been on a lot of shows. All right. I've taped a few episodes. One time I was on an all-star comedy festival in Miami, a record-setting crowd in the Jackie Gleason Theater. And I said a joke. All right. And I'd be doggone. The next day taping, the host of the show stole my joke, said it bit for bit for the next taping. Yep.
Wow.
And my boy looked at me. He said, "Hey, man, take it as a compliment. If they stole your joke, that meant it was good." So I don't know how to do with that, man. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I don't know if I want to knock somebody upside the head with that because I work so hard to get 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Right.
Or should I just chalk it up and write another joke? But if I do that, I'm going to get, my shit stolen all the time. I got to say something. I got to stick up for myself. So then, hey man, don't fuck with Andre Paradise shit. He'll come get your ass.
Wow. I mean, I had no idea about Dice Clay. Like I just that's shocking. I would love to hear the moms. Maybe
We got the bit. We'll play it.
I would love to hear that. Yes, let's play it so that we can all hear. I mean, I was always a huge Andrew Dice Clay fan. So to hear that, nobody likes a hack. And here's the thing. I don't think anybody can build a career to that level just stealing material. I have a hard time, but I just, because especially nowadays with the internet, nobody wants to partake in that type of behavior. And I mean, but maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. Eric, it's your turn. Take the mic. You got 2 minutes.
We should do that.
Well, definitely. I'll take it off of what your friend said. If it was a good bit, maybe it's a compliment. They stole it, they liked it, or whatnot. I think it's the opposite of that. If someone could steal it, then it's probably not yours, and you didn't do enough for somebody would not take it. I've been on both sides of the fence. I stole a joke that I wasn't happy that I took. It was my first year. I'd been doing comedy maybe a year and a half. I didn't know the rules. Nobody tells you the rules when you first come in. I think that experience gave me what I needed to understand that this set with me right. It was a guy named Brother Randy out in New Orleans back in 97, 98, something like that. He had this joke about how brothers' cars are more expensive. The stuff on the car costs more than the car. Right? He said you get in the car and none of the shit work. Right? He said you get in the car and you be like, "Hey man, nice car, man. Where your seatbelt at?" "No, the seatbelt don't work, bro. But check out that bass." Which was a funny bit, right? I got a chance to do a show. I had about 10 minutes. The dude came back to me and said, "Hey, one of the comedians didn't show up. We need you to go longer. Can you go longer?" And I was like, I'll try. So I went up and I did what I could do, and the bit just came out. So I did the bit. It killed. People was laughing. I didn't do it as well as he did it. But the thing that was haunting me and bothering me is when I got off the stage, how people kept complimenting that bit. They weren't saying you were funny. They were saying, "We like that joke. That joke was funny. Hey, the one about the car bit was funny." And that kind of bothered me as a young comic. I was like, well, something ain't right. Something don't feel right about that. I didn't get those laughs. That guy did. right? So I knew right there that something wasn't right, and honestly, I had tons of my material stolen, and it's just 20 years later, I believe I'm one of the up and coming best comics in the country right now. I would say I'm one of the top 10s when it comes to writing material and being funny and being original, and I pride myself on being original, and because I do the work. You cannot deny that I don't do the work. Any comic that knows me knows that I change it up. I come with new material. I come with original shit, and I write. And I have binders to prove it. I have jokes to prove it. And I also make sure when I do my shit, it is my material. And I will not take any comics material. Like Richard Pryor, George Carlin, all of those guys, I love to kind of look how they conducted a bit or how they came about, got this laugh at that joke. And I love that. But I would never take their punchline. I would never take from another comic. It's like having your car stolen, all right? You're having your car stolen. You ever had your car stolen? And you're sitting at the bus stop and somebody passed by you in it. You're like, what the fuck? And then they had the nerve to put rims on your shit. So
upgrade your material.
Right.
And that's bad.
They
that's
took it and
bad.
did it
That's
better.
And it's better. They make it funnier. And then that pisses you off even more. But you know it's your bit. And you know it's your bit. But as a comic, what I've learned to do, and it taught me something very unique. It taught me that if somebody could steal it, it's not mine. So I write about me.
Well, don't you also write for other people?
I write for tons of
and they
comics.
pay you.
They pay me, but
Right.
the writing process for other comics is different. They don't go, hey, bring me a joke. They go, the writing, I don't know if you ever wrote for another comic. What they do is they have you come, you watch the show, and you bump up what they're saying, or you send them in a different direction.
Right.
So a comic will have a general idea of what they want to talk about, and you add to that idea. That's not, you know what I mean, writing a joke for them. That's writing with them.
But a lot of times people do write for comedians or comedians will pay for material.
Exactly.
I've never done it, but it's like one of those things. Well, that's not true. There's one guy that wrote a joke and I gave him like $50 because of the perfect tag for another joke that I had. And I was like, man, that's so good. And he wasn't going to do it. And he offered it to me. I was like, oh, let me give you $50. And I never do it. It's not, and that's the only time ever in my whole life that, but I love to give people tags and things like that. I would not expect anything, but to take something, you know, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, finish it.
Oh, what I was going to say is more so than taking material. One thing that I notice, material sucks to be taken from you, but sometimes people will try and do their act as another comic and emulate their style or their, I'm going to be like Roseanne on stage, or I'm going to be like so and so, and then there was a whole wave of people that were doing Dane Cook,
Yes.
and that just always blew my mind. It's like what's the fun in A, taking someone's material, or B, not being yourself? And it doesn't work usually for people. But
you mentioned about being paid for jokes. I had an incident. I was with another comedian and another very popular comedian. He went up to the other comic after the show and says, "Hey, listen, that joke you got here, let me give you $500." Whipped out $500 for it. He said, "Oh no, not for sale." He says, "No. If you don't take the money,
I'm taking the joke.
I'm still going to take your joke. So you might take the
I'm
money."
still going to take the joke.
And I was like flabbergasted.
That's at least.
And what can he do?
He's going to take the money.
Yeah,
You're
he took
going to
the
lose
money.
the joke.
He said, "Are you serious? You're going to take my joke?" I said, "Yeah, man." He says, "So take it." He said,
These jokes don't write themselves, and it ain't free. And that's why we have to go to commercial break, fellas.
Man, it was hot.
We'll be right back.
We like pussy, don't we, man? That's something that's good all the time. The worst pussy ever gonna be in life is good. And women know it. No matter what you say to a woman in an argument, you can't win because they know, I got the pussy. You hear men say, that's a bad pussy. And you woman might believe that shit, man. If there's any ladies here tonight that think they got a bad pussy, I'd like to see you after the show. I'd like to give a second opinion. But we lucky women fuck us at all now because they got them machines and shit. Well, you ever see them plug them bad boys in, get them numbers and shit? And you be standing there with just a dick. Right? Tell me when it's my turn, will you? That's all right. Thank you. Never mind. I'll come back tomorrow.
Does a joke. Okay. All right, guys. That right there was Richard Pryor, a comedian that never gets tiresome or old. His bits just stand the test of time.
Wow.
Which is the perfect intro to what we're going to talk about next. So the hot topic in the microwave is... Oh, it's so hot, it's burning my fingers. What is it? It's the question... Do jokes ever expire? Do they ever get old? Do you have to? What happens to jokes? So, who's going to go first? You going to take it, Andre?
Let me go first with that because I've always, as a comedian, as I got older in this game, I started to wonder that myself. When does jokes get old? Because check it out, we all love music in some form or fashion. Our artists, as musicians, we never get tired. We'll go pay the ticket, go see them perform again and again, sing the same songs over and over, right?
Right.
But for a comedian, we'll listen to their jokes over and over in the car, in the album, at home. But will we pay to see that same comic say the same jokes live in person? I don't think it's a kind of a double standard when it comes to comedy and musicians. Like I can go see a magician. And I'll pay see him do the same joke again. That same act again live, and I'll go pay to see a stripper do that same act again. But for a comedian in my profession, I can't really pay to see the comic say the same joke at least twice. That's just me. But I can listen to him a million times. Right. That's just me. And so for me, a lot of comedians, they don't know how to switch up their material. And for me, the way I like to do it, I always like to bring something current, what's going on in the world. So when I'm talking and if I have to bring in something old, mixed with the new, it makes it seem like I'm polished, I'm going from the dome. Because no matter, if you're a good comedian, even when you write your subjects and you have your bits, a lot of it still, it's going to be improv the way you're telling it. It should never always come out word for word the same, because when you feel an emotion, you're being relaxed, and you're taking them on a journey, and you've captivated them. So when everything you talk is going to be should be spot on anyway. Right. So how do you feel about that?
Well, I just think it's really funny before we leave your little, this 2-minute thing that we're talking about. You just said stripper.
Hey, strippers are entertainers too.
Yeah, you won't get tired if the same old tired stripper gets up and does the same dance to the same.
I pay to put her clothes back on.
No, because strippers are very creative.
Yeah.
I can go there. She'll have a green outfit on. I'll go back next day. She'll have a purple one. The next one she'll have roses. Right. They take pride and they're active. They're a good one.
I just thought it was hilarious, the parallel between stripping and comedy, because actually we are one and the same. It is very true.
Most definitely.
Right? Yeah,
people don't see us like that. They don't see it like that.
Our lifestyle is very similar, which cracks me up.
It's an unfair situation.
But I like how you approach that topic. I really do. And I was thinking while you were saying it that I play guitar in my act a lot, and I'll get people coming up to me and being like, I really want you to play a particular song. And I'm like, I'm not playing that song anymore in my act, but I have to play because they want to hear the song again, which is different than a bit. You're right. Because once you hear a bit, you're like, you can hear the bit again because you love the comic, but not live, right? You've paid money to see new stuff. Right. So what do you think?
Well, actually, talking about strippers and everything, we did a show called Strip Comedy.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yes, right. Yeah, we did a show called Strip Comedy, and strippers, they do take that shit serious. I didn't know until we did Strip Comedy. So the comedians will come out, and then the strippers will go out.
Oh, I love this the
and
best.
It was amazing to be back there with a bunch of naked women. Right, and it wasn't the naked part that was throwing me. It's just how they watched each woman went out there and choreographed her dance moves and how she worked the pole. And I was just seeing nothing but asses watching certain women doing what they would do. Oh, that bitch did this, that bitch did that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, am I really watching these girls dig the other chicks doing what they do? And one of them told me, he said, yeah, this is an art, just like what you do.
And they stealing from each
And
other.
I didn't think it like that. But they probably
They're taking. You're like, wait, I gyrate like that.
Right.
You cannot gyrate.
I make the
like
booty
that.
applaud. You make the booty clap.
I do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. I do this.
Yeah,
Oh.
she did my booty upside down, clap, boo.
And don't watch two strippers fight in the club over who used whose towel to wipe down the pole. I've seen that on
Hilarious.
several times. I've seen that go down.
Hilarious.
You need to wipe that pole down before you get off that stage.
Let me
I've
get to
seen-
this.
I'll share a little bit of information before we deviate. I've taken a number of pole dance classes. Those women are bad to the bone athletes to be able to do that.
yeah.
That is some hard. Have you ever tried? It's hard.
I know, I've never tried stripping on the pole.
So I'm giving a salute to the strippers. Yes, I am. I'm much respect. Moving on.
The jokes get old. Yeah, jokes can get old. I think it depends on the comedian. Me, myself, every year I start a new bit. And that's just been me since the test of time. I start a new bit and I get at it when I can. I've broken up, in my mind, there are two types of shows. There's a performance show and then there's a practice show. For me, a performance show is when I'm in a theater or I'm headlining a comedy club or if somebody paid me X amount of dollars to get up there and perform. If I step out one night or if I'm stepping out a night and I'm getting paid under $100 or $50, $75 or whatever it is, that will be a practice show for me. I'm going to practice. I'm going to work on some kind of new bit that I've started. Or I can start multiple bits. And then those bits will grow within themselves. And I make sure that I have 2 or 3 hot ones coming up every year. And sometimes it starts off with just maybe a line or something, an impact that had on me. Like my mom died 2 years ago, and I wrote, and I'm starting the funeral bit. I'm taking down notes, things that happen. I'm not quite ready to go dive directly into the bit because it's so personal. But the bit itself is going to be hilarious because it's just a shame how my family and mostly the black community agree with me with this, is that how devastating it is. The actual death doesn't do more damage than the process for blacks in my community and also my family. The process did more damage than my mom's actual death. I mean, all the crap that goes on. And the only way that I could deal with it was to write a new bit. And when I tell you, every time I get to a little room and I can work on that bit or I can work on my inward bit, I feel refreshed because I perform so much. And that is one of the things that I do. Even as a writer, you go out and you write for other comics, you have to sit there and you have to watch them do the same thing over and over and over again until you can send them in a different direction, which is cool. But coming up with something new and working on a new comic, and even when I'm working with a new comic, it's a beautiful thing. Even when I write for people or I teach comedy classes, I do teach comedy classes. When I teach comedy classes, I always tell my kids, write towards something and not just to be writing. For instance, if you're going to write, I think every bit could be an hour. 15 minutes or 7. 7 will be television set. 15 minutes will be a club set. An hour, hey, you might got something there. You can take that to an hour or a 30-minute special. So make sure that bit leads to that. I'm a storyteller, so evidently I must write towards something and other just nothing. So if you can write a new joke start a new joke every year, which it takes us about a year to perfect a good 10 to 15-minute bit. I don't know about you guys, but it takes a while. And that bit could get old. But when you're writing that new one and it's fresh, it's nothing like it.
Oh, it's the most fun.
It's the most
and
fun.
keeping it fresh and original and current to your life, it won't get old.
It won't get old.
So I think that's an amazing personal take on Can a Joke Get Old? Now, I'm going to ask you guys this because I was thinking about how jokes just sort of age out of our lives. And I came up with this with my children because I'm going to ask you guys a joke. You guys know this one, right? What's black and white and red all over?
black and white. And
You know this
red
old joke,
all
right? Do you
over.
guys know the old
No,
joke? Oh, it's an old joke.
Is
from
that
our
my booty
childhood.
from being spanked?
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Actually, it's a newspaper, right? Black and white and red all over. So here's the thing. That's an
the
old.
funnies?
That's an old joke. I'm surprised you guys don't know that one.
no.
Okay, that's an old joke, but it's obsolete now because nobody reads newspapers anymore. So when I'm talking to my kids about an old joke, and then the tag to that joke was, how does it go? It was what's black and white and red. Again, the second part of that is a zebra in a blender.
Oh shit.
And that's also no longer politically correct. And
can't say that either.
I can't believe you guys don't know that old joke.
No.
I just
Negative.
That is like
Nada.
That's like an old knocking.
Don't ever tell that at a black family reunion.
See, so that's just
Or any type of black situation.
I feel so.
Yeah, you were invited last
I
night.
know. I was just gonna say I feel
Check.
very white and elitist with my
It remind me-
newspaper
It remind
joke.
me. It remind me of my auntie Gretchen. My auntie Gretchen is white, right? And it was so funny because we would tell these. Everybody would tell these jokes at our family reunion. Man, they would knock out. Your stomach be holding. You know how we laugh. We
shit
laugh.
come up.
Ah! And she wants to tell her joke, and my uncle was like, "Baby."
It's not
She's like,
gonna
"No, I
work.
want to tell my joke." So she tells her joke, and she goes, "What did the bullet say to the other bullet?" And we're guessing. And she goes, and we couldn't figure it out. What did the bullet say to the other bullet? She said, "Let's have BBs." And my family was.
You're like, what does the bullet say to that bullet? It says, "Get down, get down." Right? This isn't funny. We go
I heard
for
my
the
aunt say,
hood.
"Bitch, get out of here."
Oh no!
All right.
So this was some serious cultural joke.
Yes.
Like no go.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, this has been an awesome debate. We're going to go to commercial. We'll come back with some more. What do you think?
Come up,
Love
open
it.
mic. Yes.
Love it.
So.
Right. How many of y'all honest with your kids? You not telling the truth? Tell the truth to your kids, all right? Don't like try to keep them in by midnight. Tell them who they can't talk to. You need to tell them the truth. Stop hiding it from yourself. All right? My daughter, she's a freshman at the University of Hawaii. All right? She called me. She said, "Daddy, is there any advice you want to give me before I start school?" I said, "Yeah, baby girl, I'm going to have this damn conversation with you for a long time. Be careful because you're going to be a hoe." That's what I told her. Now, keep it real. She said, "Dad, what do you mean?" I said, "Listen, shut up, listen to your daddy." Your daddy was a hoe. Your mama was a hoe. Which makes you a future hoe. Understand me? I said, "Dad, don't know like this." I said, "Shut up, girl. You need to know that you got a whole gene up in you somewhere. You just ain't met the right person that can activate it yet. Understand me? Ladies, make sure you remember the first time your whole gene got activated. Keep it real. Keep it real. Might have been 16 or something, somebody kissed you on the back of the neck, something just happened to you. Got activated. So, I had to protect my baby girl. I said, "Here's my advice, baby. When you get to school, you can't date nobody on the baseball team, the basketball team, or the football team. Because they can use your ass up, go pro, you have nothing to show for it." Right.
That little nugget of brilliant comedy came at us directly from Andre Paradise, sitting here in
Hey, that was funny.
Hey,
his gold beautifulness.
that's right. I told
Funny.
my daughter she could be a hoe. Be careful. It runs in the family.
Right.
Runs in the family. Yikes.
Hilarious.
That is so
Whole genes.
funny.
Where's your whole gene at, girl? Where's it at? Is it the neck or the ear?
As long as you recognize, then, you know.
That's right.
That's-
Some fellas can't find it.
So funny. All right. Well, this is a time during the show where we get to rant. A 1 minute open mic, whatever you want to talk about. Andre, since we just came out of your bit, you go ahead and go first. What do you think?
1 full minute.
You know what? Boom, on the clock. Well, the NFL just announced that if you don't want to kneel for the national anthem, to keep your ass back in the locker room until the coin is flipped, all right, till it's over. So you might not see any blacks on the sideline doing kickoff for the 2018-19 season. So I agree with this issue instead of them solving the problem? Yes and no. First of all, you should have your right. Anybody hasn't to do with any social issues, what have you. If you don't want to go out and kneel, stand in front of that flag, in front of America and the world, and if you want to stay back there and to be separated so no one can see that you're taking a kneel, then you don't affect anybody. What you don't see won't hurt. However, as a black man, I love that flag to death. I'm glad people are taking a kneel because someone has to do it for me. But I will always stand for that flag because I love that flag and with all my heart.
I think that's amazing. The thing is that protesting and public figures like athletes historically have made a difference.
Yes.
So I think stifling that, it's a problem because it's a very expensive franchise. But I think maybe it's not the country that we live in. We're supposed to be able to protest peacefully.
Someone has to do it, like I said.
Right.
Exactly.
So I don't know. All right, Mister, you ready?
Yeah. I think I go with bothering me. This is some home shit. This is me and my wife are just into it about some bullshit, and it's kind of bothering me, And she says that I feel like she says I'm like a bully sometimes. The way I talk to her, I think it's bullshit because I'm a man. I do know that I could be a little strong. Opinion. Yeah, I do know that I have a strong an opinion about things. I do know that I am an alpha male, and I'm an alpha male, and that means a lot to me. I mean, now I don't expect my woman to be down and bow down and kiss my ass or say anything like that, which she don't. She has a mouth on her that is a motherfucker. And sometimes it's a lot for me to swallow. But as a man, I have to say sometimes you got to know what the line is. Sometimes you got to not take it there. I don't give a damn what I'm saying. You got to not take it there. All right? Just let me be and let me be in my place. And if I'm saying, hey, don't talk to me right now, that's what I mean. Don't talk to me right now. Don't come poking the fuck out the lion and then wonder why the lion's out the cage trying to eat your motherfucking ass. That's just how sometimes motherfuckers do. They know look at the lion. He's over there laying down there sleeping. Let me go and poke and wake his ass up. And then when you wake the lion up and he's on your ass, you're going, well, why is he chasing me? Well, why were you fucking with him? Leave the lion alone. He was sleeping in the cage, minding his own business. And you knew it was a lion when you poked that motherfucker.
Oh,
Blake,
it's a marital
Blake,
rant.
now when the police show up at your house, we have it all on tape. You warned her ass in front of everybody and at home, and she did this shit anyway.
You're like, stop it. The lion just needs a blowjob.
Exactly. He'll take a cat nap every goddamn time.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry. Marriage is hard. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, here's my personal rant for the day. I am addicted to social media. Are you guys having that issue?
Yes.
Love Instagram, and I hate it at the same time. I'm checking it too much. It occupies too much of my time, and I love it, and I hate it, and I'm on it all. I remember when I first got my phone, and I was like, I will not be attached to this thing. I wear it on a chain, and I carry it at my side, and I'm checking it all day long. My thumbs hurt from constantly being on it. I actually get like tired hands, and it's just... It's got to end, but it's Star Trek. We are walking around with the future in our hands, and we can't stop ourselves. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I check my Instagram, and it keeps me up, and it's sick, and I love it.
It's sick, and I love it.
I want it to end, and I don't know where it's going next, but it's not going to a good place. I can say that right now.
Fantastic.
So that is my rant.
Wow.
Guys, we talked comedy.
Yes.
We shared comedy. We shared personal information.
Kept
We
it real.
shared our very gold jacket.
Yes.
And I
Hall of Fame,
think
baby.
we have done it. I think we are good to go. What do you think? Is this
I think
it?
it's good. Yes, there.
It's good. We talked comedy. Thank you guys so
Talk
much for
comedy.
joining us. Come back next time. We will entertain you and make you laugh.
Peace.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's the 10 Common Commandments. What? Yeah, sure.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's the 10 Common Commandments. What? Yeah, sure. Tell me nothing about these jokes.
Man, you from the Queens,